Hi everyone, it's me, Serenity, and today I am going to talk about something that bothers me a lot. This happens to be why black women seem to hate each other so much. Why do they hate on each other so much? Now, this is something that I've never understood. This is something that is very disturbing because you would expect us to have each other's back. That's not the case in most instances. We all know that women are the more emotional creatures, in that is our natural way of being. That is the feminine side of us, to be more nurturing, to be more emotional, to connect. However, our black women seem to be, that emotional factor seems to be a curse rather than a blessing for most of us. Maybe it's because of hurts in the past. Maybe it's because of one of those posts that I did, whereas they kind of live up to their personal past or other people's past, what their history was. Whatever it is not something that's going to help in the long run. It's not going to help. It's harming us as a kind, as a being, as a species, as a people altogether. For the most part, I treat people, everyone I meet, I treat with the same respect, not just because of the biblical reasons, but because of just natural, normal reasons why you should treat people the way you'd want to be treated. Now, I guess other people don't believe in this. I guess a lot of other people, let me don't class everyone with the bad apples. But the bad apples do stand out a lot, and the bad apples do spoil the rest of the bunch, so to speak. Now, when I was in high school, the majority of the females in high school at the time, the majority of them spent the majority of their days complaining and finding faults with the other females in school. Now, you go to school to learn, you go to school to do your best, to make your parents, your family proud of you. You don't go to school to look at other people, to look at what they're wearing, to make fun of people, to insult people for who they are. You don't even know them and you make fun of them. This has to be draining. This is just, from I was a kid, this was something that made me tired to see happening, even though a lot of times I was at the butt of the jokes. The only thing they could really pick on was the color of my skin, because I was a top student straight up into high school. Only until I got in the later years of high school, I ended up with peer pressure and following the wrong kind of company and focusing my energy on things that weren't benefiting me in my future. But in school, it just goes to show that in school, these young girls, they don't just develop this, they learn this from someone else. It goes to show that the women in their family have taught them how to do this so well. They're experts at it. And my grandma always taught me that I should love myself, love who I am, love the color that I am, because I am beautiful. My grandmother taught me that most of the time, it's jealousy that drives this kind of behavior. It's the fact that they have nothing else to tease me about, because I was a teacher's pet. I was, never got in trouble, never fell into the situations that a lot of other students fall into. The only thing they could pick on was the color of my skin. And I guess because of their own insecurities, because of the color of their skin, when they saw someone who was a shade or two darker than them, oh wow, it made them feel so good, like I'm light-skinned now, like my skin isn't so bad because look at her, she's darker than me. Come on. Now, I find that many times I was teased to the point where I went home in tears, like my family had to come to the school to talk to these children. And these children are my complexion. What is going on with our people? Now, like I said, apples don't fall far from the tree, so they had to learn this from someone else. But now I feel like it's gotten so much worse over the last, say, decade. I've been out of school now since 2000. In these years, it's drifted down to the younger generation, because now my 10-year-old son comes home and tells me that he's being faced with the same thing. People are calling him black, and he's lighter than me. This is hilarious. I have a daughter as well. My daughter is 4 years old. I want my kids to know that they are kings and queens, that right now they may be prince and princess, but one day they will be king and queen of their own castle, that they are regal, they are royal, like the song says. My daughter, I want her to never doubt who she is, doubt her beauty and this power that her Creator has given her. I don't ever want her to grow up and fall into this trap, the trap of insecurity or, bullying someone else. Because mentally, once you get into that zone, it's hard to get out of. And some people know better, and they still choose to do it just to fit in with a certain crowd. Because I speak a certain way, because my mannerisms are a certain way, this does not make me someone who's pretending to be someone I'm not. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. If you look at my family, my sisters, my mom, we're all like this. So you will see where it comes from. But if people would only take the time to get to know a person from the inside, then they will see what true beauty really is. Many people, some people who are darker than me are truly beautiful. I look at the supermodel, Alec Weck. From she hit the scene, I thought she was beautiful, and I never said, oh, she's pretty for a dark girl. What does that mean? Didn't God make us too? Are we not supposed to be pretty? Is beauty only something that's for white people or lighter skinned people? Why are so many black women bleaching their skin? I watch videos of women in Jamaica. The bleaching thing, they say it's a fashion thing. What fashion? Changing what God made you? How's that fashion? And they're obsessed with it. And many Bahamian women I know are obsessed with bleaching their skin. Now, I could see where you tone and keep your skin clear and smooth, or you use it on certain spots that left marks. You can use cocoa butter for that. You can use shea butter for that. You can use vitamin E for that. You can do vitamin C. I mean, there's so many things other than bleaching your skin. Because when you bleach, you have the moon glow. The rest of you remains the same color. Most of us can't keep up with that routine. Most of us are gonna bleach for a certain period of time and fall off. So then you're gonna get black again. And then what? You bleach harder. It's a vicious cycle. It's like drugs. It's ridiculous. We must learn to love ourselves from the inside out. And we have to realize that we should not be afraid of someone who is different from us. We can learn something from everyone we encounter. Judge not, lest ye be judged, is what the Bible says. And we as black women tend to judge people, instantly. Like, we don't even have to hear them speak, and we judge them based on the outer appearance. This is wrong. This is, closing yourself off from learning. It's ridiculous. We're all beautiful. We all have a purpose to serve on this earth. And one day, this shell that we call a body will be dust. Who we are is on the inside. That's who we are. And so, skin color does not matter. Skin color does not matter at all. Now, I say things are harder for black people, black women especially, because of the strains of oppression over the years, over a long time. But we must learn to stop oppressing ourselves, stop oppressing each other. We are our sisters and brothers' keepers. We are. If you look at the job world, in the job place, you will see that a lot of the ridiculous conflicts and gossip and complaints and snitching is done by our fellow sisters. We should be helping each other. Times are too rough to be bringing each other down. You'll find you bring someone else down to keep yourself up. And in the end, it serves no purpose, because sometimes there's someone oppressing you as well. You go and oppress your fellow man. I have experienced this a lot in the past, in places where everyone feels oppressed, either by the white man or by the black man, plantation-style jobs. And at the end of the day, my own kind would throw me under the bridge to keep their little mediocre position. You can't give right when it's wrong, but at the same time, you have to look out for one another. We're all we have. Do you understand? Now, we have a lot of black women who try to empower themselves, who may have had people who showed them a better way of living, people who awoke into this consciousness that we are all one being, one in this struggle of life. But we have predominantly so many black women who are stuck in ignorance, absolute ignorance. If you're different from them, first of all, they're either jealous of you or they feel threatened by you. If you have something that they don't have, like I said, they're jealous of you. If you don't have something that they have, they feel like they're better than you. If you speak different from them or have a little bit more knowledge in a certain area than they do, they feel like you're trying to be better than them, or that, you're stuck up. It's sad. A lot of them lack the education, lack the communication skills to carry on a sensible conversation. A lot of them lack humility. They don't want to hear what anyone else has to say. They feel like they know it all. And when you feel like you know it all, you know nothing. This is what I've come to learn. And everything that I feel like I've learned, I would like to impart on someone else. I'm not a selfish person. Why should I try and hog all this information for myself when I am the one who is going to benefit from someone else learning something better, a better way. People feel like the world owes them something, especially our black women. You owe the world. We are the world. We bring life into this world. We are responsible for what we bring into this world, what we give to this world. The world doesn't owe you anything. I am so distraught by this because a lot of times I go out and I see women, you walk past and they look at you from head to toe as if you are wearing something that belongs to them. First of all, when I go out, I never go out half-stepping. I always do my best to look my best because I'm representing life. I'm representing my father, I'm representing my family, I'm representing who I am on the inside. And so if you like something that I'm wearing, instead of staring at me up and down like I stole something, bitch, say something. Say you like it. Ignorance is a serious, serious thing. And it's so many different forms that it comes in. If we want the love that we demand so much and cry out for so much, we must extend the love to one another. Other people will learn to love us the way they see us loving each other. We should be proud of each other's accomplishments. Be proud of how far we have made it. We have come not from slavery, because I let that go a long time ago. Not only the black race were enslaved. Many races were slaves throughout history. Many races, not just us. Get over it. It's time to elevate. I feel like the other day, for instance, the other night I should say, I went out with my husband. We sat down for a little drink, and he saw 2 or 3 ladies who work at the same building that he works at. And he was like, oh, see so-and-so who I told you about that day. And I was like, oh, okay. Seeing them approach our table, I expected her to at least wave at him or acknowledge him in some kind of way. I saw her look at me from afar, and as soon as she got about within 2 steps to the table, she turned her head and pretended she didn't know him. So did the other ones after they saw her do that. What kind of attitude is this? What sense does that make? Don't you think if I already knew that he knows you, that you should say something? You're making it look as if something else is going on. I'm sure that's not what you want to make it look like, but you're so intimidated, what is wrong? What is wrong? And young women need to learn to get their minds out of the gutter. They need to grow mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, psychologically. We need to grow as a people, because the future is very grim if we continue on this road that we're on. Stop looking at people who are trying to make their lives more meaningful as people who think they're better or higher than someone else or higher than you are. This is what life is all about. Life is a learning experience. All of life is a lesson. And I would love to one day be able to see my sisters, not just my 2 sisters, but my sisters, looking at each other with love in their hearts, with love in their eyes, being able to compliment one another. And so when I go out and I see someone either wearing or doing or being something that I admire. There's no fear in my heart. There's no fear that overtakes me and makes me look the other way. I would immediately compliment them, even if I don't know them. It's the togetherness that I feel. Sometimes we wonder why black men end up with women from other races. Because I feel, we know that there are a lot of black men who aren't the best examples, sure. But I feel like for the most part, black men are tired sometimes. We are, as black women, we are a lot to deal with, okay? They can't understand us most of the time. Sometimes if you look at the majority of either white women, or I would say white women, for example, they're much easier to get along with. White women would compliment me on the street, strange white woman, before a black woman does. A tourist, that is. That's not a good sign. We need to improve ourselves. We need to get it together, basically. And I love my black sisters. I'm not speaking from hatred or anger. I'm speaking out of love and compassion. I want to see us more together as a people. I want the hatred, the hating on each other, the hating each other, I want it to stop. Of course, this kind of stuff will be going on for a long time to come until this whole system of things change. But we have to do our best to bring that to pass. And I feel like this is something that God looks at and judges us on. I feel like He can bless us more as a people, if we try to say, let His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. When He says this, when Christ said this, it's not anything about it that's impossible to happen in this time. He's speaking about the now. He's speaking about this time. Let His will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Love one another unconditionally. This earth is here for us to stay. We must learn to love one another now. We can't wait until His return to do so. Love starts with ourselves. Love yourself first. Learn to love yourself. Then you will be able to share that love with the rest of the world. That's it for my post. And I hope that it gave you something to think about and share with those that you know, and was a little enlightenment if you face anything like this in your life. Until next time, like I say always, peace and love, and namaste.